Welcome to Intuitive Mind Lab Radio, where science meets spirituality and unravels the mysteries of the mind and the universe. I'm your host, Lindsay Goodwin, a self-mastery mentor, born intuitive medium, and licensed health provider with a knack for blending neuroscience with a touch of the cosmic. This radio show skips the small talk and dives straight into the big, impactful energies. You're in the right place if you're a growth-minded, science-loving, wellness enthusiast, or a spiritual seeker ready to kick limiting beliefs to the curb. I've got you covered, from self-mastery tips to deep dives into manifestation and the esoteric. Buckle up, because we're about to upgrade your mind and master your life. Welcome to Intuitive Mind Lab Radio. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Intuitive Mind Lab Radio, where we explore the infinite power within you and the secrets of the universe. Oh my gosh, that's so incredible. I just can't wait to share today's episode. It's going to be all about the simple yet empowering truth of your mind and how it really is the greatest power and tool that you have on your journey. Remembering, I always am stating this, never forget this. You are an infinite creator, which means you have the ability to create and be anything that you desire to be. It's all about knowing what you truly are. And that is what I am here for, to empower you and guide you to awakening that power within, because it is your right. It is your right to be empowered, to feel that you can live through your authenticity, to have the tools and understand how to unlock it within you. It is your power. It is your right. And I think in our society, we're taught at such a young age, the limitations of what really isn't even real. It's such an illusion. And I want you to know that you learned those habits. You can unlearn those habits. So in this episode, we are going to uncover how your thoughts and beliefs and feelings really are shaping your reality. I know that can be so incredibly annoying to hear if you are someone that hasn't realized yet that you are in charge of your reality. I know that when I first started realizing this, that the first step was I had to own my own BS. I had to realize that what I was manifesting, what was in my life, is because of thoughts and beliefs that I had. And I know that when I was robbed at gunpoint in 2017, that was really hard to understand why I manifested that. And really why I manifested that was to help me to understand that I'm always protected no matter what. And so I'm here today to share that with you. And so, but at first, it was hard to really be able to own that because we feel so victimized. But that also was part of this, was victimization. Realizing that we never really truly are the victim, even in a situation like that. And I know it sounds crazy, but we're always manifesting to us what we need for our evolving. And I know there's been other experiences in my life where I have had people come into my life that have really been very disempowering. And I've thought to myself, why have I manifested this into my experience? And the reason why I've manifested it is because it's part of my purpose. It's part of helping you as my listener on this wonderful radio show that I've created for you and the collective, that we're always protected. And when abusers or people that take advantage of us or situations that are trying to take advantage of us come into our experience, that it's helping us to be able to see something that we need to see. They're actually helping you It's not the opposite. So I always say, I tell myself this on a consistent basis. How can I alchemize this? How can I turn this situation into something that will empower me and help me to be stronger and in a higher version of myself than I was before? And when you can really do that with pretty much anything, you're a very awake human being. And I would say that probably most of the population is not quite there yet. But if you are listening to this radio show and you're listening to me talk right now, you are someone that is awake. You are someone that is curious about the infinite creator that you are. So let me ask you this. Are you ready to take back your control? Are you ready? Because it's time. If you're someone that feels lost and feel that you don't know what turn to take next, this episode is really going to help you today. So I am ready to help you to really live through your most authentic self and harness those creative energies, the creative power of this amazing energy and higher mind, which is the higher self that you truly are, not the conditioned self. So stay tuned. Stick with me in this episode, because it's going to be so mind expanding. Let's first talk about the science behind the subconscious mind. And before we dive deep into this manifestation, I want you to understand the mind itself. Did you know that 90% of your brain is operating on a subconscious level? So what does that mean? That means that 90% of how you're operating is from the subconscious mind programming. Only 10% is actually conscious thought. So whatever you think, in quotes, you are thinking about is only 10% of what you truly are thinking about. And so what happens is that I'm going to get more in detail about this, is that we are programmed until about the age of 7 of others' beliefs and patterns and limiting beliefs that are not even ours, okay? So it makes it hard for us to really be in our authentic selves and our unique magic of what we're here for if we are running these programs, which is 90% of how our brain is operating, remember, at this subconscious level, which is that subconscious programming, then it makes it so that we're not really operating in who we truly are. We're operating through patterns, habits, beliefs, society conditioning. This just isn't fair. And I am here to help you to be able to kick this, to know that you have so much more power. Your infinite power. So science has found that these subconscious programs run 95% of your life. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Think about that for a second. 95% of your life. And are these thoughts running through your mind all day really yours? Probably not. Or were they handed down by generations before you? Yes, they were. And so it's really interesting because when people get to this place, and this may be you, that you know that something needs to change, but you don't know quite how to get there. And I call it putting on the new outfit. So you know that you're not the same version of yourself that you were before, but you're not really quite ready for that brand new outfit of that higher version of you. So you're kind of like in this middle place. And this is really how I help people, is really to let go of these subconscious beliefs so that you really can figure out and be in alignment with who you truly are, not these programs that you were taught. And so it's time to put on that new outfit, that shiny new outfit But of course, it's time to put that outfit on when you're ready for it. And you're not going to be ready for it until you actually start letting go of what no longer is serving you, as well as these programs that are blocking you from knowing who you truly are. It's important to understand also how this programming begins. I did mention this in the beginning, but we're going to talk about this more in detail. So it starts in the last trimester of pregnancy until about the age of 7. Your mind is absorbing everything like a sponge. And if you are an empath, which probably most people, if not all, listening to this podcast are empaths, which means that you have the ability to feel very deeply. And you also absorb others' emotions and energy until you learn that you're not an energy graveyard, I call it. You're not here to absorb other people's pain. You are here to be able to transmute this energy into beautiful energy. So when I'm around, for example, I won't digress too much, when I'm around someone that I know that their energy is off, I don't judge them, but I definitely don't absorb their energy. Now, how do we not do that? You protect yourself, wrap yourself in white light, wrap yourself in gold light. Just knowing your own energy is the most powerful part of this. Knowing that I woke up today in a wonderful mood and now I walk into a room and with other people and now I have a headache, or I don't feel well. All of a sudden my stomach has knots in it, or I feel anxious or angry. Those are not your energies. You are picking up on other people's energies. So that's how, when we know our own energy, that we can learn to let go when we feel other people's energy and move it out of our energy field. We don't ingest it. We're not an energy graveyard. So when I'm around someone that does have energy that doesn't feel nice, I don't judge them. I take that energy and I recycle it. I ask the universe or God to take that energy and to recycle it into something that's beautiful, loving, and powerful. Because remember, energy can never be destroyed. It only can go into something else. It can only transmute into something else. Everything is transitioning, and energy is never can be destroyed. Like I said, we can only recycle it. So really, to be able to help those around you, judgment, not what we want to be doing. We want to be helping people in the way that we don't, and we also don't want to be putting ourselves in a position that we're making ourselves sick or we're getting entangled in other people's energy. We want to be able to help them by turning this energy into love that is not love that might be around them or coming from them, okay? So we can all help each other out by being in community in this way. But I always want you to protect yourself first. If you're not grounded and healthy, you cannot help others. Never forget that. So it's important to understand, like I stated, I'll get back to the topic here, that this programming is really beginning at the very beginning of life. I believe that it actually is beginning before the last trimester of pregnancy. I feel that it is actually beginning the entire pregnancy. I know that when during my transition into this physical world, that my father was very physically abusive to my mother. And I remember that. And I really do feel that that has been part of my transformations, is that very early on abuse that I experienced as a child, even before I was in this world. And that really sets you up for patterns, really patterns what you're learning in your life. And I think some of the strongest healers, and I'm talking about real healers, not fake healers, people that have actually really done the work and are not judgmental, are not worried about how many likes or followers they have, people that are really here to do the work. They're not making a business out of it. I'm not a fan of that. I don't really think that's a true healer. A true healer is someone that doesn't have any attachment of how many followers or likes or how popular they are. They're just here. They're just being, And many healers you will find have not actually done the work. They've read a lot of books, but do they really, or taken courses, but do they really understand what it really means? Probably not. I haven't met too many. But anyway, definitely not a judgment when I say that. This is really about education and protecting you to know that you have to listen to your discernment on that too. But anyway, I don't want to digress on that too much. I feel I talk about that a lot because it is something that I have come across. And I've actually come across many, many healers in the healer industry that are very narcissistic and manipulative. So we have to be careful, but you really have to do the work. And most of the population doesn't want to do the work because it's painful. It's painful to go back to, for example, memories of being in the womb space and having my mother be physically abused and remembering that. That is not something that's great to remember. People don't want to remember things like that. But to truly understand your journey and what you're here for in your soul blueprint, you have to go into the darkness to be neutralized out into the light. So back to when this is all coming together with the subconscious mind and these patterns. During this time, your brain is operating in theta state. Bruce Lipton talks about this a lot. His theory is really great. So basically, this is a hypnosis mode. Theta waves, by the way, are my favorite brain waves because of the mode, the trance state that it puts you in. So when we are in a trance state, which is hypnotherapy, hypnosis, it programs the subconscious mind. This theta state is really powerful. You can use these brain states now to be able to reprogram your subconscious mind. During this stage in your life, and this is when you are picking up these behaviors, beliefs, or even fears from your environment. Now, remember what I stated about my experience of coming into the physical world when I still was in my mother's womb. So remembering that these are here, whether they're serving you or not. But guess what? Most of these are not yours, as I mentioned. They're generational patterns handed down. And for many of us, they include limiting beliefs that can sabotage our dreams and our desires and our life purpose. But I don't want you to worry about this because there's always a way out. There's always a way out. If you're good with source energy or God, if you know who you truly are, there's always a way out. And remembering that your power is always coming from within. It's always coming from within. It's never outside of you. All of these patterns have been outside of you. They're not from within. They're not who you truly are. And let's face it, you're a black sheep. What does a black sheep mean? That is someone that has come here to break generational trauma. You probably have felt like an outcast. You felt like the weird person. You felt like you don't fit in your whole life. Why? Because you're not a follower. You're here to shake things up and do things very differently than how generations of yours have done them. And so there's many people around you that are followers. They're sheeples. You're not a sheeple. You're a maverick. Someone that's here to change the energy so that future generations don't have the same experience that you did. This is very powerful work, very intense work, but very satisfying to the soul. So these generational programs were installed And guess what? They can be uninstalled. That's amazing. You have the power to heal your subconscious mind and rewire those thoughts. This is where the magic is happening. Rewiring those thoughts. So you are an infinite creator. I'd stated that in the beginning. So really, what is an infinite creator? It means that the reality you experience mirrors what's happening inside your mind. Scientists and spiritual leaders like myself agree that you manifest what you believe. It's not just believing, it's also the feeling. Feeling is actually the secret. That comes from the great Neville Goddard, one of my favorite philosophers. If you don't know him, absolutely check out his work. Wonderful. He has a ton of books. Feeling is the secret. Feeling is the first stage. In fact, it is, I take that back. It's thought, it's attaching feeling to those thoughts, and then then we can speak those. So we've got 3 parts to this. You don't always have to speak them, but speaking them is like a contract. It's you're really believing it if you speak it. So always be careful about what you're talking about. Even if you're venting. Most of the time I think venting is not something we should be doing. It's learning how to actually transition this energy within ourselves, At first, it might be hard not to vent or, communicate. There's nothing wrong with therapy or communicating with a mentor like myself when you're learning how to do it. But I just want you to be mindful of absolutely no gossiping. Try not to do that. Even if you're mad about something, just pay attention to why you feel something. Or if you're a person that says, oh, I'm never good at that, or I'm so stupid, or I'm so dumb, or, don't say those things about yourself ever, because the universe is always listening, and you will attract people into your life that will actually show you how dumb you are. You don't want that. You do not want that. You want to talk highly of yourself. Self-love here. Okay, you are the most important person in your life. Put yourself up on that pedestal. Putting yourself on the pedestal is not arrogance. Arrogance is insecurity. We're talking about confidence here. Okay, confidence and self-love. There's nothing wrong with putting yourself on a pedestal. In fact, there's no other way. Because when you put yourself on a pedestal and you value and love yourself so much, you will attract people into your experience that will treat you that way, because they value and love themselves so much that they treat themselves with the utmost respect. You always are a mirror. Always are a mirror. So just be very careful what you think about and also what you talk about when you're talking about yourself. Very, very powerful. So this isn't by chance at all. In fact, nothing is a mistake, because you're always manifesting what you need to evolve. And I mentioned that earlier. It's quantum physics. Quantum physics is actually finding out this isn't really far-fetched anymore. Spirituality really is linking up with science. The new age, I guess you could call it, which I don't really care for that term too much, but because it's not far-fetched at all. They really are colliding, like integrating together now, where we're actually seeing it. So for all these years, all these people that wanted proof, including myself, I'm a Capricorn. We're earth energy. We're very grounded and physical, and we need proof of things. We're leaders and CEOs and really need the proof of things. But I was born into this world with such a intuitive, energies of knowing things. And I would say that Capricorns are very intuitive, but I'm not the typical Capricorn, but I do have that side. I also have a Cancer moon, which makes me very, very intuitive. But also, it's that I'm just stating this as an example that it's been difficult for me, and I attract a lot of clients actually that are skeptical of things, that or on the fence or don't know what to do next, that we don't always need proof of things. And it was difficult for me for years, even as intuitive as I am. That's part of the reason why my near-death experience happened, was to get me to realize that you're so much more than needing proof of things. You know, this is right here in front of your face. Like, let's go ahead and experience this so that you can understand that you're way more than what you see in front of you. And I got to tell you, I even doubted it after that. It's taken several spiritual breakdowns to finally surrender to this and let myself fully integrate who I truly am, which is this infinite creator that I'm talking about. So for someone like me, or maybe that's you that needs proof, science is actually starting to prove this. So I don't like the word woo when people say woo-woo. I try not to use it because it's not woo-woo at all. This is right here. We can actually see it. If you're still thinking things are woo-woo, not you. I'm highly, highly, highly assuming that you're not the person that's thinking that. But I think of the world, how, you know, people still think, oh, that's just woo, or that's woo-woo. Why? Like, there's proof of it. It's not weird or far-fetched at all. This is very obvious. This is very obvious what's happening in our world now, how the energy is integrating with science, how we're actually seeing that it makes a lot of sense. And when I say energy, I'm talking more about spirituality, or what people have called woo-woo or new agey. It's all right there. So your thoughts are carrying this energy, and this energy shapes your reality. Quantum physics, it's showing you that. Bruce Lipton talks about this all the time. Wonderful guy. And there's tons of other spiritual leaders and scientists that are talking about this. Also, Joe Dispenza, same thing. So we can think of it like this. Your thoughts are frequencies you're broadcasting into the universe, like an antenna on the top of your head. And the universe is responding back with experiences that match that frequency. Now, remembering that every cell in your body is energy. Every cell in your body is your soul. I stated this on another episode that I did, but on my other podcast, Fertile Frequencies, that your soul is not inside of your body. Your body is inside of your soul. This body that you have doesn't even belong to you. It belongs to the earth. It's a temporary vessel for you to be having this experience. So for us to be thinking that our body is controlling everything, that we physically need proof of things, it's an illusion. Because your body belongs to the earth and is going to decompose once the soul is gone. Once the soul has left the vessel. And I don't mean that all of your soul is I know what I just stated of the body being inside of the soul. That's because every cell in your body is the soul. The soul is controlling everything. It's controlling your heart. It's controlling your brain. It's controlling all your organs. It's controlling how the body is moving. It's just like this energy frequency that we're talking about electricity. If you have something that needs electricity and you don't have anywhere to plug it in to get electricity, it's not going to work. That's what your soul is. It's the electricity. It's that you plug it in and your soul is here. It's generating everything. You are energy. Your body will no longer exist when the energy isn't here. So this is very powerful when we think about this, because it makes us realize or come to the realization that our body is such a small part of it. It's just a vessel. It's a container. It's part of the container because the soul is really the container. So, like I stated, every cell in your body is energy and connected to the universal grid. You are the universal grid, by the way. Or all that is all that is, like I just stated. So what you think about is directly affecting everything, including how your body is functioning. So as a medical intuitive, so I'm a licensed health provider, have been for nearly 2 decades, and I help people with their health. I help people to understand the physical side. So again, we're talking about science, understanding the science side of health. Very much grateful to live in a time where we have so much technology. Science is great, but things in the medical world can be very disempowering. There's no idea. I can't say no, because there are some really great doctors and health providers that are very much open-minded to the energy and how we can heal ourselves based on our thoughts. And there are people out there like that. But what about preventative care? What about helping people, everyone, understand? And medical disclaimer here that I'm not your medical doctor. You are listening to a podcast. This is for educational purposes only. Okay? So please do not discontinue any medical treatment that you might be receiving. So there are providers that are very integrated in what I'm talking about, but mainstream medicine, probably for the most part, doesn't quite understand it yet, or is resistant to it. I don't know. I've given up a long time ago with trying to I don't try to convert people. I don't do any of that. I'm not wasting my energy on that. Remembering that your energy is your most valuable asset that you have. It's not the amount of money that you have in the bank. It's not your house. It's not your car. It's not your status. It's not your education. Your energy is your most valuable asset. So be careful what you're giving energy to. So I just don't give energy to people that are not, they're just not there. It's okay. They're just limited, as Alan Watts says. They're just limited. They're just where they are. We don't judge them. Let's leave them there. But we need to understand that the way that medicine is going is integrative, and it will start integrating energy therapies more, mindset, mind-body connection. We want that as a human collective. We want that. We want to be empowered with our health. We want to learn how to heal our bodies, not have a disempowering system that is telling us that we need to have medications and we need to have all this testing done every year. I don't get mammograms. I refuse to. Absolutely not. Why? I'm not going to subject myself to that. And there's people that think I'm crazy for not doing that. I don't care. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to. And that's my personal belief. I don't believe that it's necessary. I know that I have the ability to be able to heal myself, and I do it all the time. When I feel that there's something going on physically in my body, because I'm so in tune with my body, that I heal it. And how do I do it? Through the power of my mind. Belief, knowing. Belief isn't even strong enough. Knowing that I have the power to do that. I do it all the time. If I have a headache, okay, let's get rid of that. If I feel like I'm coming down with a cold, don't give energy to it. If I feel like I'm really tired and I don't have a lot of energy, I listen to myself. I go get sleep. And I don't feel guilty about it. So just not to digress too much, I know that I do, but giving you some information about just the power of your body, and I should say first of your energy, and how it really does drive the ship of the body. We have to listen to our higher self. It is the controller. It's the computer. It's the computer system. It's computerizing the body. If we're not listening to something, the body's going to get sick. For example, someone that is in a narcissistic relationship, we've actually seen through scientific proof that people that have experienced long-term narcissistic abuse have brain changes. Their brain actually looks different because what you are around affects how your body is functioning. What you're thinking about affects how your body is functioning. What your feelings are is affecting how your body is functioning. Don't be around people that are abusive. I don't care if it's an intimate partner, a parent, a sibling, a friend, a coworker, a boss, a client. Do not be around people that are abusive. Get away from them. It is not about you. It's about them. They don't like themselves if they're abusive. They're very insecure people. You don't need that. It's not your problem. It is not your problem to try to fix someone else or to feel bad for them because they continue to be abusive or see the potential in them. Please do not see the potential in people. Take people for what they are. If they're showing you what they are, believe them. Walk away because they are killing you. They're killing your body when you're around people that are abusive. You've got to disengage. It's not worth it. You'll feel so much better. And it is part of the healing process because we really have to figure out, why am I around people that are abusive? Why am I accepting that? I will do a podcast on that because it is important for, I know that many spiritual master souls on this earth, empaths, typically attract abusive relationships, abusive people in their life because it is helping you to awaken to that higher version of you because of the purpose that you have here. So we'll talk more about that. So if your mind is cluttered with thoughts of fear, doubt, or scarcity, those experiences, you'll draw them into your life. But on the other hand, when you feed your mind positive thoughts, aligned intentions, and feelings of abundance, the universe is going to deliver that to you. This is such a big part of your control. This is the empowering that I'm talking about. It's empowering you to know that you are in control. Be very mindful of what you give energy to. As creators, we hold immense power. But with great power comes great responsibility. And this is why so many people are not doing it, because they don't want that sort of power. It's so crazy to think about because people will tell you that they do, but the universe responds to you not by what you say. Yes, is that an important part? Are words powerful? Absolutely. But there's parts to this. This is multi-level here. You also have to have the feeling attached to it too. So if you don't truly believe something, you say, oh, I want to be powerful, but you don't believe it, the universe isn't going to respond to you as if you're powerful. So having this power where you are able to hold this space of knowing the truth of what you truly are as an infinite creator, and knowing that everything is connected, and being able to stand strong and grounded, and for the most part not get triggered, and be able to have compassion for people even when they're mean, but disengage. This is really powerful stuff. And most of the population can't do it. That's why they don't do it. They don't even understand what I'm talking about. So it is a great responsibility. But it's the greatest gift that you could ever give to yourself, is to be energy aligned and to know who you truly are and get your power from yourself and not be taking it from other people. There's a lot of really great manifestors on this earth. It doesn't mean that they're good people, or it doesn't mean that they're healed people. They just know how to manifest. I'm about manifestation and being a great manifester, but also being an energy aligned, loving being, because that's who you truly are. So here is the question. What are you feeding your mind? Why don't you pause this for a second and ask yourself that question? Why don't you write down 3 things of what you feel that you are feeding your mind at the moment? Or maybe recently in the last couple of days, or what's been on your mind. So how you heal your subconscious mind, there's a lot of great ways, and we're going to talk about it. Now that we've covered how powerful your mind is, let's talk about how you can be back in the driver's seat from those outdated subconscious mind programs that are not even yours. Healing the subconscious mind is all about reprogramming those limiting beliefs that no longer serve you and set you into your most authentic self. And here's how we can start with this. Step 1 is awareness. You always have to have the awareness. This is part of owning your bullshit. Having the awareness that, oh my gosh, I manifested that. I did that. That's okay. I have the awareness that I did that. I'm going to change it. This is where you're at. Being proactive, or maybe you're somebody that already knows this stuff. It just interests you. You stumbled upon this podcast. Wonderful. I'm so glad you're here. So first, you must identify the limiting beliefs and patterns. I want you to begin paying attention to your thoughts. What triggers feelings of doubt, fear, or feeling like you're not enough? So that annoying coworker that comes in and is bossy and trying to take over and is just doesn't feel good. And you're like, oh, this is so triggering me. Ask yourself the question, why is this coming up? Why is this person coming into my reality? What is it that I need to learn from this experience to be able to evolve to a higher version of myself? A higher version of myself that I am asking for. Remember that you are asking for these things. You are asking to evolve. You're asking for it. The universe is giving you what you need. So why is this person coming in? Well, if they're annoying and they're triggering you and they're bringing up anger and they're making you feel that your voice is not heard, maybe that's how you're treating yourself, to yourself, from yourself. Maybe you are not listening to yourself. Maybe you're not valuing your own beliefs and your own gifts and desires and love. And maybe you're not valuing that. Maybe you're being too hard on yourself, like this person that's showing up. That would be an example. So like I stated, awareness is the first step to this transformation. And the second step is meditation and entering into theta state. You can use any of the brain waves, but theta is really going to put you in that state. It's going to reprogram your subconscious mind. And I am doing a masterclass with Our Well on March 31st of 2025. It's a virtual class. I'll link the information in the show notes. And I am going to be talking about brain states as well as the subconscious mind. It's going to be a 90-minute class. So if you're interested in that, you can definitely attend that. I'd love to have you there. So as before, I mentioned the theta state, and this is a brain state where your mind is most open to suggestions. Suggestibility is very important. What does that mean? Well, we use it in hypnotherapy because to see how suggestible you are. If you're not, I use different tests to see. If you're not suggestible, then that would mean that you're probably not very open. It doesn't mean that we can't get you open. It means that you probably have more walls around you, and it might be a little bit more difficult to get you to be open to therapies. But we work with that. And I know about this because that was me. I was very skeptical of everything, even as a kid that was seeing spirits and orbs. And, I still was skeptical. And as I stated in the beginning of this podcast episode today, that's part of the reason why I had my spiritual awakening when I was robbed, because it was really helping me to see that you can't be skeptical. You got to lean into things. I used to get massages, and I was very difficult to work on because I was so tense, because I was so skeptical, and I'd experienced so much trauma. It was very hard for me to trust others. So it could be that too if you're not suggestible. Is it just you're not trusting? So these therapies are really helpful because they will break down those walls. So you can access theta state through meditation, hypnotherapy, and deep relaxation techniques. I highly recommend that you look into theta state. It's very relaxing. So also step 3 will be visualization and affirmations. When you are in a calm and meditative visualization of life, you'll get a lot of vivid detail. Your life gets so much more exciting. I'm not saying you need to walk around and be meditating. What I'm saying is that when we're in a place of living in the moment, which is really what meditation gives you, also daydreaming. I find it interesting because as kids, we're told not to daydream. I don't know if kids are told that in schools now, but I know they were when I was a kid. And daydreaming is actually your connection to your imagination, which is your connection to God or source. Creation of all that is. So the fact that we're conditioned to think that daydreaming is something we shouldn't be doing is crazy. There's a lot of things I talk about: learning disabilities, autism, all kinds of different things that our society tries to label as something wrong with you. And there's nothing wrong with you. It's that you understand life in a different way than the masses. Remember what I said about the black sheep? So when you combine this with affirmations and you say them in present tense, like always using I am, because that's who you are. My name's Lindsay. I'm not really Lindsay. I am. I'm an infinite creator. Lindsay's just the character that I was named. Not saying that I don't love my name. My mom's listening to this. Actually, we choose our name. But it's the character. It's not who you truly are. Who you truly are is the I am. That's why you say I am. I am worthy. I am abundant. I am free. The more you repeat these affirmations, and very important to note here, it's not just about saying affirmations and thinking that that's going to manifest you to feel that way. You have to know it. You have to feel it. You have to believe it. So when you say I am worthy, if you're just saying it, it's not going to do anything. It's I am worthy. I am abundant. I am free. Do you believe that you're worthy? Do you believe that you're abundant? Do you believe that you're free? You know, there's a lot of manifesting journals out now. Amazing techniques, but you can't just buy one of those journals and follow it in the instructions and do it and have it work if you're not actually believing it. You have to believe it. You have to feel it. Remember, feeling is the secret. But I will say that if you are someone that's just starting out, it might be hard to even say them. I know that when I first started out, because of all the trauma that I had experienced, that even looking in the mirror and telling myself that I loved myself was hard. So it's okay, maybe just starting to say them, and then you will start to believe them. But just keeping in mind that feeling is the secret. So you have to feel it as you're saying it. So work up to it if you have to, but keeping that in mind. We also have to remember that to be able to manifest something, we have to not only believe it, but we have to feel as though it's already happened. And really what this is doing is we're changing these limiting beliefs or patterns in our brain, which is known as neuroplasticity. So step 4 is repetition. Now, I say this because, it is important to to be consistent. I think I like consistency more. Rewiring your subconscious mind isn't a one and done affair. It does take the consistent effort and practice. You can think of it as planting a garden. The more that you water and nurture it, the stronger and more vibrant it's going to grow. Now, the role of quantum physics here is where science is meeting spirituality. I talked about this earlier, but we're going to talk about it a little bit more. Quantum physics shows us that energy and matter are deeply interconnected. Everything in the universe is energy, including your thoughts. What you focus on expands, and when you align your energy with your desires, you create a powerful magnetic field to attract those desires into your reality. I mean, it's science. The more you embody your feelings of joy, gratitude, and abundance in the now, the faster you're going to magnetize those experiences into your life. Let go of the outcome of that, when it's going to happen, what it's going to look like, all the details, all the A-type personality, all the left brain logical. Remembering that the universe is nonlinear. All that you have to know is you put your desire out and the universe is going to bring it back to you in the way that it's meant for you. Letting go of all the details, allowing the universe to do that, but knowing that it's always working out for you. Of course, why not? You're an infinite creator. Of course it works out for you. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It's always responding to what you are being in the moment. So thinking about your past, thinking about your future, not going to work here. Because your now moment is what is creating the future for you. So if we're living in the past, we're going to keep recreating the past. If we're living too much in the future, you're going to be anxious all the time. You're not enjoying the moment, which anxiety is going to create more anxiety energy. More anxiety energies of things coming into your experience that are going to create more anxiety, that are going to bring more anxiety. Living in the past, probably going to create a lot of depression. See, there's nothing wrong with you. It is about that you just haven't quite figured out who you are. And once you figure that out, you're unstoppable. So you are the creator of your reality, and your mind is the most powerful tool that you'll ever have. You unlock your infinite creative power by healing your subconscious mind, everything we've talked about today, and feeding your mind with empowered thoughts and aligning with the energy of your desires. Remembering what you believe, you manifest. You've had this power all along. The question now is, how will you use it? Maybe the takeaway is, I'm sure that you have a lot of takeaway from this episode today, but maybe it is that you start thinking about, how can I use what I learned today? How can I use my power? How can I start tapping into it? Get out a journal, start writing it down. You will find so much amazing connection. I know that you will. So we are at the end of the episode, and I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Intuitive Mind-Led Radio. If today's episode resonated with you, don't forget to hit that follow button and share this episode with a friend or someone who could use some of this inspiration. And don't forget, your power lies within you. Everything is always within you. And until next time, stay aligned and keep shining your authentic magic, because we need you. So much love. And that's a wrap for this episode on Intuitive Mind Lab Radio. If this episode sparked your curiosity or lit a fire in your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your Cosmo-loving bestie. And hey, if you're feeling the vibes, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. Until next time, remember this: it's your universe and you hold the power to master it. I'll see you next time in a mind-expanding Intuitive Mind Lab Radio episode. Stay curious, bold, and always true to your authentic self. Much love always.